Welcome to Cosplay Engineering. I'm ACraftyHobbit, and this month we're talking about adding series LEDs to your cosplay and programming them for various effects. So what do I mean by series LEDs? This is actually your common Christmas lights, which are LEDs arranged along a chain in which the current flows through them in only one path. This is why in older Christmas lights, when one bulb went out, the entire strand went out. Today I will be working with these plain white, just simple Christmas lights. As always, I will teach you how to wire them up, break down the code to program various effects, and assemble them into an actual prop. Let's get started. Due to everything going on in the world, I am moving from 2 props of video to just 1. That way I can make sure I have enough supplies to keep making videos until the shelter in place is lifted. For my Christmas lights, I designed the Psycho Mask from Borderlands 3. The build was created with Fusion 360 forms. This was my first time sculpting with a form, and so it was a lot of trial and error. I brought in images of different views to sculpt the form off of. Because of it being a mask, I wasn't as concerned about where to put the electronics like I have been with other props. Now to figure out the wiring. I cut my lights off of the existing battery pack because I wanted to be able to control them to do more. I used a 9-volt to determine which of the wires was ground and which was power. I marked them accordingly. I then got out my Ardiuno and a breadboard. Even though there are more lights on this wire, it's still the same wiring as with a single colored LED. The ground wire goes to ground and the power goes to a pin on the microcontroller. I actually cut the light wire into 2 pieces, allowing me to control the lights in each eye separately. Because of the single current, whatever it does to one light on the wire, it does to the whole strand. So separating them out gives me more flexibility. I have the left side wired to pin number 9 and the right side to pin number 10. Again, I wire up a button to allow me to control the lights. It needs power, a 10K resistor to ground, and a wire back to the pin on the board. I'm using pin number 2. Here's the wiring diagram. Moving into the code. I'm not going to spend as much time as I usually do on the code because this is the exact same code from my single LED video. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. There I thoroughly break down this code. In order to make it work with the separate eye sections, I needed to add a second constant variable for both LED pins. I relabeled them left and right. These match the pin numbers wired to the microcontroller, which were 9 and 10. I updated the setup function to make the connection now to both pins. In the loop, I added an additional digital write statement to send to each of the LED pins. As you can see, when the button is held, both sets of lights turn on. I updated the blink code in the same way. I added the new variable, redid the setup, and added digital write. Now the lights blink when the button is held. Lastly, because the lights are on 2 different pins, I'm able to control them separately. By adding an exclamation point here, this section now blinks the opposite of the other. So when the button is held, as you can see, they alternate. These updates can also be applied in the same way with my on and off code. On to soldering it all together. For this project, I actually needed to solder 4 wires into ground. Fortunately, the Ardiuno Nano has 2 ground pins on the board. So I did 2 wires in each pin. I attached a 10K resistor to one of the ground wires for the button. I added a wire into VIN for the battery, a wire into the 5-volt for the button power. I then soldered wires into pin number 2 for the button, pin number 9 for the left eye lights, and pin number 10 for the right eye lights. I attach the ground wires and the pin wires to the lights. Next, I solder a wire to the button to be divided into for the pin wire and the ground wire. I connect the power to the button. I connect the battery to make sure it all works. Here is the soldering diagram. As seen in this video, with a few adjustments, the same code can work for many different projects. The same, of course, is true with electronics. While I'm not demoing with different prop body types this time, these electronics can be put inside any prop, not just a mask. When working with LEDs around the eyes, make sure the lights are front-facing so you do not blind yourself. Thanks for watching this episode of Cosplay Engineering. Next episode, I will continue the theme of the month of series LEDs, moving into programmable LEDs. These will allow me to not only change the color, but create effects down the chain, things such as a light chase. To see what I'm up to in between episodes, make sure to follow me on my social media. Likes are always appreciated, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel and hit that bell. Stay safe, stay home, wash your hands. Bye!